When the cops showed up on my front lawn at 2 a.m., I realized I was no longer in a neighborhood disagreement. I was smack in the middle of a psychological turf war. And I was done playing defense. Picture this. I'm standing on my front porch, barefoot, wearing pajama pants stained with coffee, blinking into the red and blue lights flashing across my yard. Meanwhile, this smug woman in fuzzy slippers is arguing with a police officer, insisting that her daughter's birthday party guests deserved respectful parking accommodations. Behind her, 3 teenage girls in matching pink sashes are filming the entire thing like it's a music video and I'm the designated villain. People always say, pick your battles. Well, I didn't pick this one. It landed in my yard like a deranged birthday balloon. Let's rewind a bit. I bought this house 4 years ago after scraping and clawing through 2 jobs, nights on microwave noodles and enough gas station coffee to qualify for a loyalty award. So when I finally earned my own driveway, a modest slab of concrete, it felt like freedom. Sacred ground. A place to park my car, pace while ranting on the phone, or just stand there and admire the lack of oil puddles and tow trucks. But apparently, my little piece of peace rubbed someone the wrong way. Her name was Linda. Well, her legal name was Linda, but no one ever heard her refer to herself that way. She was always Savannah's mom, like her daughter's sweet 16 had given her diplomatic immunity. She also happened to be the HOA's vice president, a position she treated like a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court of Suburbia. Rules didn't apply to Linda. They were just optional guidelines she enforced through passive-aggressive newsletters and friendly reminders taped to your mailbox. The first red flag should have been when she knocked on my door a week before all hell broke loose, delivering her request with a tight-lipped smile that showed a few too many teeth. She never invited me to the party, which was fine. But she said, since you don't really use your driveway on weekends, would you mind if we used it for guest parking? Just a few cars. Nothing wild. That's not a question, that's a trap wrapped in a fake compliment. I told her, politely, that I prefer to keep my property vehicle-free for liability and security reasons. Plus, boundaries are important. She blinked, like I'd spoken in Klingon, then nodded slowly and said, "Oh, I just assumed you'd want to be neighborly." End of conversation, or so I thought. Cut to 2 a.m. party night. I wake up to strobe-like lights flashing through my curtains. I throw on a hoodie and open the door to 2 police officers who look like they'd rather be anywhere else. "Sir," one says, "we got a call about a disturbance involving blocked access." Behind them? Linda, gripping a cake box and gesturing at my empty driveway like she'd just stumbled onto a crime scene. "She's refusing to let my daughter's guests park," she huffed. "It's incredibly unreasonable. We have over 50 attendees. The neighborhood should be more accommodating to special events." One of the officers asked, "Is someone parked in your driveway now?" "No," I replied, "and no one will be." Turns out Linda had tried to send 3 cars onto my property earlier, but I'd set up cones to block them. One of her guests had a meltdown. Savannah apparently cried next to the dessert table. And somehow in Linda's twisted world, that was grounds for police intervention. The officers, to their credit, saw how ridiculous the whole thing was. They de-escalated quickly and reminded her it was a civil matter. But Linda glared at me like I'd just set her gazebo on fire. "This attitude is why people don't like living near you," she hissed. I smiled and said, "And this entitlement is why people start HOA horror blogs." She stormed off in her designer robe, but I knew then this wasn't over. The next morning, 2 cars from her party were parked half on my lawn, tires pushed onto the curb like the drivers got lost looking for valet. I documented everything. Because when your enemy wears tennis skirts unironically, evidence is essential. A day later, I received what looked like an official HOA notice titled, "Driveway Reallocation Agreement." It was printed in Comic Sans. It claimed homes with underutilized driveways would now accommodate overflow parking during approved community celebrations. My address was highlighted in yellow. I spit coffee all over my phone. She had literally typed up a fake parking decree and mailed it like a royal proclamation. I texted Marcus, a neighbor on the HOA board. His response, "Yeah, that wasn't approved." That's just her. So now I had forged HOA documents, trespassing, a police incident, and a woman trying to annex my concrete like it was a prized resort timeshare. Then it escalated. A few nights later, I caught her on my lawn not to apologize, but to hammer a reserved for VIP parking sign into the ground. She even tied a balloon to my mailbox. She really did it. She marked my driveway for her guests like she was planning a wedding at a Sheraton. I didn't confront her. I took pictures. I waited. Because I had a feeling this wasn't just a birthday party. I started asking around. Neighbors had seen rental trucks, folding chairs, lighting rigs. One even said, "We thought she was running an event business." It all clicked. This wasn't a one-off. It was a pattern: birthday parties, baby showers, branding retreats. Linda was running private events out of her home and using our street, our driveways, and our patients as free infrastructure. And she was doing it under the HOA's radar. The morning after her VIP stunt, I found a balloon in my mailbox and a tire mark in my yard. The sign was gone, but the irritation lingered. Linda wasn't just entitled, she was delusional. She genuinely believed she had jurisdiction over where I parked, what plants I grew, and whether my lawn ornaments were aesthetically acceptable. They're not, by the way, and that's the point. Next weekend, I slept in. Big mistake. I woke up to slamming car doors and found 3 cars in my driveway. One was a white Mercedes with a pink bow on the antenna. Another had a windshield banner, Savannah Soiree PT2. She had turned her house into an event space. Not a one-time celebration. A recurring, suburban chaos factory. I didn't yell. I documented. I started a new folder on my phone, Linda Infractions. That night, I found a glossy newsletter in my mailbox, Community Connection Quarterly. 6 pages. Stapled. Page 3 had a section called Parking Harmony, claiming driveways could be reallocated during celebratory peak hours. It even had clip art of cars labeled VIP. She was trying to normalize it. So I went to the next HOA meeting, fully armed, binder, timestamps, photos, copies of zoning code. I was ready to go full courtroom drama. Linda was there already, wearing a lemon cardigan and handing out cookies like bribes. I declined, obviously. When my turn came, I laid out the evidence. "This," I said, pointing at a picture of gift bags spilling from a trunk into my driveway, "isn't a community event. This is monetized chaos using private property." Linda jumped in with her trademark angelic voice. "I'm just trying to build togetherness." Sure, if togetherness comes with folding chairs and unlicensed bounce houses. Some board members looked uncomfortable. Others nodded. The board president, a guy who mostly showed up for donuts, said, "We'll look into it." After the meeting, Marcus cornered me. "You didn't hear this from me," he said. "But her property's got guest house violations. Check zoning." And so I did. I dove into public records like a caffeinated librarian on a mission. And what I found was glorious. Linda's house was zoned strictly residential. No permits. No business filings. Her so-called guest house? An illegal garage conversion with chandeliers and ring lights. She was advertising on Facebook for luxury intimate events. One commenter even wrote, "Loved the parking, super smooth." I almost passed out from laughing. I didn't confront her. I made calls: city code enforcement, fire marshal, zoning board. Just innocent questions. Meanwhile, Linda kept pushing. Chalk arrows on my sidewalk. Guests moving my trash bins. One guy tried to argue when I told him to leave. I hit record on my phone and said, "Smile for the HOA." Then came the pink cease and desist letter, full of legalese printed on paper scented like Victoria's Secret. I posted a redacted version on the neighborhood group with the caption, "Legal question. Is this enforceable if it smells like strawberry mist?" It exploded. Turns out I wasn't the only one. Neighbors chimed in complaints about wind chimes, sunflower bans, holiday wreath infractions. Even old Mr. Feldman posted, finally. Then came the fire marshal. Clipboard in hand. Linda was mid-bridal, expo tents, candles, DJ Dreamboat playing top 40. The marshal took one look and said, "This isn't residential use." Vendors packed up like it was a drug bust. The city posted a cease and desist on her door that night: zoning violations, fire hazards, the works. Still, Linda wasn't done. She pivoted, hosted a boutique launch in her backyard, sent flyers with her daughter in sunglasses posing next to a tutu-wearing dog. I didn't laugh. I forwarded them to the zoning board, the fire marshal, and just for fun, the IRS. Then I compiled everything: documents, photos, screenshots. And I sent it privately and politely to the HOA board. 2 days later, emergency meeting. Linda tried to play the victim. "He's harassing me. He's jealous. She brought cupcakes again. But no frosting could cover up the mess. Do you have a business license? One board member asked. She stammered. Do you have liability insurance? Silence. The board didn't vote that night, but the tide had turned. People spoke up. One woman said Linda banned her kid's ghost decoration. Another got fined for drying a beach towel. It wasn't just me. I was the last straw. Then the board got screenshots of her Venmo payments party donations with balloon and cake emojis. That's when I knew the board was pissed. Linda taped a real cease and desist to my door from a lawyer this time. Or Craigslist. It accused me of emotional trespassing. Whatever that means. But now she was watching me, documenting me. So I went nuclear suburban style. I started a petition, remove Linda as HOA VP for misconduct and unauthorized use of property. I had 12 signatures by the weekend. By the HOA meeting, over 25. The room was packed. Linda walked in late, smiled like nothing was wrong, handed out printed agendas. But no one smiled back. I presented my binder like I was defending a dissertation. Photos, flyers, fire marshal reports, payment records. One by one, neighbors backed me up. Then came the vote. It wasn't even close. Linda was removed effective immediately. She stood, clipboard shaking, muttered something about lawsuits, and left without looking anyone in the eye. The silence after she left was the loudest thing I'd ever heard. Then someone clapped. Then everyone did. The aftermath? Her event gear vanished. Her Facebook group went silent. Her illegal guest house was taped off by the city. And someone no one will admit who leaked the meeting footage to an HOA horror subreddit. It went viral. Memes, GIFs, t-shirts. One quote, "I gave you community," printed on a mug. 2 months later, Linda moved. No goodbye. Just a moving truck and a sign. A young couple moved in. First weekend, they knocked and asked politely if a guest could park in my driveway. I said yes. And to celebrate the end of chaos, I installed a small metal sign near my mailbox. VIP parking by invitation only. Everyone who knows the story laughs. And now I sleep peacefully, driveway empty, mailbox balloon-free. But the binder stays tucked under my bed like a suburban war trophy. Because you never know when the next Linda will arrive. And when she does, I'll be ready.